Hey, what's going on everyone? So with the arrival of Ultimate Bahamut, we also got Kuja's LD and Burst along with a small rework. I was fortunate enough to get his LD, so the narcissistic magic monkey with a battle diaper got purpled. If you're interested in what sort of theatrics he does, what he offers to a team, and what I think of him, stick around and find out. Kuja is a full magic attacker with primarily group attack options. With his full kit, he is able to imperil and party enchant Holy, as well as maintain a boosted status on his skills. His skill 1 is Ring Holy, a 6-hit Holy attack with the hits distributed between the enemies based on the number of them. The target you select at the start receives full HP damage, while the others get 50% splash. Onto Kuja, it applies his unique stacking buff Soul Cleave, which raises his max bravery and grants a regen. Onto the enemies, it applies Melody of Life, which lowers speed and has a Holy Imperil. At 4 stacks of Soul Cleave, this move is enhanced to a plus form, which has higher overflow and consumes the stacks of Soul Cleave. His skill 2 is Ultima, a 9-hit group attack with split HP damage. It also grants Kuja Soul Cleave as well as buffs his magic attack and max bravery. At 4 stacks of Soul Cleave, the plus form of this skill gives it a double cast effect with higher potency and overflow, and will also consume the stacks afterwards. His EX is Symphonic Force, at base a 5-hit group attack that deals total HP damage. Using it will max out Kuja's Soul Cleave stacks, but also gives him a new buff in the Darkness of Eternity, a party attack and speed aura, but also will not have you lose your Soul Cleave stacks when using a plus skill. He also gains enhanced basic attacks from the EX passive, with both giving him more stacks of Soul Cleave compared to non-enhanced and his HP attack gaining 1 brave hit. The EX Plus of course improves the EX cast, which is great since it does total damage, but it also improves his performance before his first EX cast. Realization adds 20% overflow, which for a group attack with total damage is great. 1 ingot is a stat boost, and Kuja definitely appreciates more offensive stats. 2 ingots is a second recast speed upgrade, as well as starting Darkness of Eternity, buffing the party from the start and letting you not worry about Soul Cleave stacks. 3 ingots greatly improves the EX cast with 3 more hits, overflow, and strength. It also improves his basic attacks at 2+ versions, both attacks gaining a second brave hit. His LD is Seraphic Star, which is a 2-hit Holy attack with split HP damage cast 7 times that shifts between the enemies for the brave hits, with 20% brave return after each HP hit except the last. It gives Kuja the unique effect Terra's Crystal, which is a party max brave and attack aura as well as Holy enchant, very handy since Kuja can now imperil Holy. The LD passive raises his attack and also grants him starting Soul Cleave and his buffs from Ultima, meaning, as you'd guess, you'd really want his LD to have him function as smoothly as possible. While Terra's Crystal is active, his basic attacks are turned into 3+ versions, both with 3 hits and more strength compared to the 2+ versions. I do not have it at the moment, but his burst is Flare Star, a 12-hit Holy group attack that deals split HP damage. The burst effect is purely offensive and pretty neat. A boost to party brave damage, max brave damage up, stolen overflow up, as well as a party Holy enchant. Somewhat redundant because of his LD, but the burst effects enchant has a stronger elemental bonus. Kuja's LD has seen a rerun in the future, as the opposite LD during Ishila's burst introduction, and he gets his LD extension then. It is very minimal. It's just a potency increase and adding on a party overflow aura to Terra's Crystal. It's definitely not a lot, but I guess it evens out since the LD cast as is very chunky, and with how Kuja's skills work, more overflow is always nice. I remember Kuja from all the way back in his introduction, before EX weapons, even before we had skill extensions. Ring Holy wasn't always an HP attack, and Ultima had random target hits. It was all terrible. Then he got his Lost Chapter, his extensions, and his EX, and then he felt good. His damage was high for the time, and total group damage was and still is great. His EX Plus on its arrival was useful, but if I'm being honest, didn't really feel like something super needed for me. His rework giving him a Holy Imperil and his LD a party enchant of all things weirdly slots Kuja into being a bit more supportive, something he already had in his EX buff. His damage and longevity are made even better with it all, and with his Imperil and enchant, he can easily slot in as either a primary damage unit or a very strong secondary unit to serve as an enabler for your first. Before his new toys, Kuja would just be another good damage dealer. High damage from his EX with his skill performance rather dependent on how many targets he's facing. Those problems still exist with his LD and rework, but they don't seem nearly as impactful anymore. The splash damage off Ring Holy is actually super nice, and his ability to hit weakness makes it a lot easier for him to hit his caps. Not only that, he has the easiest to use Holy enchant. Because of that, while you can compare him to high-powered magic units such as LD Vivi and Strago, he slots in differently, and in my opinion stronger, since he has the elemental utility akin to Rydia, Lulu, Fujin, and Raijin. More than a simple magic attacker, and he more than pulls his own weight damage-wise. So yeah, that's a purple Kuja. His LD by itself is already very strong, but combined with his reworks in peril, his roles widened and his power grew a lot more. The next LD Holy Enchanter will be Paladin Cecil with his LD and Burst, but his enchant is tied to his additional ability, albeit easier to manage once he gets his LD. Sometime after that, there will be Ashe, who also deals with Thunder, and can instantly fill EX gauges for some fun team comps. As for right now, Kuja is a fantastic offensive enabler for other units, and until like Tifa LD, probably the fastest way to get summon farming done. Almost every summon goes down in like 2 LD casts, so if you get him, this is the perfect time to get in a massive amount of summon board farming. If you like this breakdown of Kuja's kit and want to see others like it or other Opera Omni content, stick around and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.